Ads. You love them?
You hate them.
You know what they are.
The market is dominated by larger companies with money to burn. But what's left for smaller businesses?
Today we're talking with small business owners about their experience with advertising and how they think it's impacted their businesses.
Small businesses are founded by the ambition and courage of their owners, and they deserve to have their voices heard. So to start off, what's the difference between a commercial or ad versus a promo? To answer this question, I asked my good friend Cam.
Roll clip of Cam.
A commercial compared to a promo. So a promo would come with a presentation, it would come with a pitch. You would give more details along with the video, where an ad is a very short snippet, as short as it can be. And it's just, here's what we're presenting, here's how much it is, here's where it is, and how you get to it.
To bring this idea to life, I wanted to see what it would look like to turn our first interviewer story into a promo, using the same tools advertisers use every day.
I am Ezra Niles. I am the owner and executive chef at Chef Nucleus, where we specialize in private dinner services within your own home or an exclusive location. We also do event concepts that feature the art form of cooking, and we incorporate other art forms as well.
So caprese skewers, we're pairing this with date night. So this is to end the night. And kind of mix, talk about the films, talk about the food, talk about the atmosphere, right?
4-time award-winning film, that means
I like creative spaces, so I do find myself going to art shows or different music events and food shows and things of that nature. So I'm going to try out a different restaurant or try out a new bar, or just, I'm a foodie, so not only do I cook, but I like to go to different places. So, and then just from my background, I've worked in many different concepts in the restaurant industry, right? So I don't know, it just broadens my viewing of how to kind of piece my business together. So you're always thinking of presentation, but you also just think about the thing. So culinary artistry is a more refined dive into like our menus and what we can create and just our different styles. So that is more hands-on. That is something that is a 3 to 4 course meal. Like you're getting mid-sized portions and maybe a dinner event. But that's going to be the black and gold handles. We might go with actually solid silverware, solid plating. We may go with plasticware. For example, for the art and cuisine, that was Italian night. So we got the nice wooden forks and spoons and knives on top of the low pasta bowls, right? That people can have. And it's a strolling event. So it's like, okay, we need something that people can walk around and eat without, trying to have a whole plate. It just got a little nice size bowl that I could walk around with.
the way I should have kept them. They were a bright pink.
Hotels, they'll let you know different foods, and they would have that for certain Airbnb. They would talk about different foods or a different place to eat. I think I started seeing some private chefs, but it's not really a big demand. I think that's a key element if you are looking to have a weekend out or just during the week, right? It doesn't matter. If you're looking to have that elevated experience or dining experience, I figured that would draw people in, and it's gotten a good response, right? Because you're getting the whole nines. You're getting a private chef, you're getting live cooking, a course run through, and then even beforehand, it's just with the initial consultation, working a menu and creating a menu that is specific for that couple, whatever the occasion may be. I think it just always comes down to the way we market. A lot of things are methodical. We have had additional help. We got Megan Kirk, who is a PR rep who has different connections with the media, within the news. So that's been a help to get us to get more exposure as far as how I'm able to grow organically. And I think that's just what it is. It's just knowing people, work with different people, and then them knowing how I am as well. I'm always professional across the board. If you need any additional assistance, I'm one of those guys who kind of know a little bit of everybody. So I'm trying to build that repertoire to where I have just connections in any field, right? All the art forms, especially when it comes to doing these concepts. We try to cater to where everyone is welcome, but we do also have a limited crowd. And our focus has been having those intimate settings to where people could come out and not have to deal with the overly crowded spaces. That's how I've been able to draw people in, because that's what I've been pushing. I'm tired of going to festivals and spending the arm and a leg. I'm tired of going to different restaurants and spending the arm and a leg. It was like, how can I create a concept where you can come here for the average night and you're able to, for less than what you would spend on an average date night. And you can come out and you can have wine, you can have food, you can have live music, you can have live art, you can have all these different art forms that we incorporate, spoken word, wherever the case may be. That's worth the time than going out somewhere. Right now, Chef Toe, Patel's Kitchen, he's a partner as well. He's the head of pastry at Chef McLee's. We just brought on Kyra Irving, who's a sous chef, and she also does pastry as well. We're working on getting a vegan chef. We're working on getting a Haitian chef. We're working on having these different styles of these different elements, building up on our server team, building up on our busters, building up on all the different elements that you would need to run a successful event, but it's also having those standards as well. So when we do events, like we send packages out, we with our chefs, we have packages. They know what's on the menu, they know what we're doing, but everyone's also involved too. It's asking my pastry chef, hey, what do you want to create with this menu? These are the main items I'm thinking. How we go to, what dish what pastry do you want to create for that? And that's the whole team. And it's adding their ideas as well. I think that's the big thing. And my big thing with Chef Me Please was creating a space for chefs to where we don't limit the creativity, because I hate having my creativity limited. If you can create that space to where it's like, hey, I can come in, I can create whatever I want, and ultimately Chef is going to make sure it works, that gets people excited. It builds that element of like, I want to create something that people not only are going to enjoy taste-wise, but also visually. As far as the growth of Chef Me Please, our major goal is getting a building and opening a ghost kitchen to where we're able to have our regular day-to-day menu, but then still also do our private dinner experiences and event concepts too. Ghost kitchen is not your traditional kitchen. It is a digital kitchen. So it's mainly your chefs, prep team, dishwashers, and then your delivery drivers too. So we'll run everything in-house and still be able to do our day-to-day menu, but then also we'll be able to have certain chefs to where we can still do our private dinner experiences and our event concepts.
Hey, let me ask you a question right quick.
Okay.
So, when you watch an ad, what's the first thing you think your subconscious pays attention to?
The bright colors and flashing lights?
Not quite.
Oh, I know. It's the product itself, like an iPhone or Danimals.
No, and you drank those things?
Don't lie. So did you.
Ah, touche.
Ugh, okay, I give up. What does watching an ad have to do with my subconscious?
Well, look at it this way. Like the power of Christ, it's compelling you.
Okay, now you're really thinking too deep into this. It's an ad for a burger. I'm conveniently hungry and I like burgers, so I drive to a place with burgers because an ad told me I was hungry. So I go and get a burger.
You're missing the point of what's actually being sold to you. It's not just the burger.
I am missing the point, but what I have noticed is that we've been talking about burgers for 42 seconds and now I'm actually hungry. Are ads bombarding our subconscious by way of repetition?
Actually, that's not a far-fetched discovery. In March 2025, a study by Sarah L. Appleton-Knapp and her team at the University of Kent found that repeating the same ad up to 3 times boosted viewers' recall of key messages by about 20%. After that, the effect plateaued, showing that a touch of repetition can meaningfully improve audience retention without wearing them out.
That sounds pretty accurate, but just because I see an Apple ad every 5 seconds doesn't mean I'll immediately buy it, right?
True, but I hate to break it to you. Every ad that you've watched for your entire life has sold something to you, and you already bought it. Just maybe not with money, but with your mind.
Wait, what do you mean?
There's a great fascination with ads that I don't think we ourselves have realized, but our subconscious has. In ads, you're never selling the product, you're selling an experience. If you look at an ad for Apple, they're not just selling a phone. They're selling popularity and status. If you look at an ad for McDonald's, they sell every type of experience, from community and convenience to how fun it is to work there. For Nike ads, I'm reminded every time I see one that I lack motivation, so I need to buy one of their shoes and clothes in order to get motivated. Ads have a funny way of solving problems to issues we didn't ask to be solved in the first place. But it's in the back of our minds, and we need whatever it is, like now. Like those old Folger commercials where the wives were on the brink of divorce from their verbally abusive husbands for making their coffee wrong.
How can such a pretty wife make such bad coffee?
I heard that.
Forget the coffee, Marge. It's never very good.
But Phil,
I'll get some at the plant.
Again? Even today?
Honey, your coffee just doesn't taste any good.
Oh, honey, happiness is a vacation. Away from your coffee.
Oh, no.
What's wrong?
Oh, it's your coffee again. The desk sergeant at the station makes better coffee than this.
Oh, this coffee is criminal.
Honey, you killed the petunias.
Then you admit it. Your coffee really is murder.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like those cologne ads that tell women smelling good is the only way to get a man. Or how those apartment ads are really just selling convenience because they know how hard it is to buy an apartment.
Exactly. The goal here is just be successful, and ads help aid a business by promoting a solution to a need.
But is there another way? Can small business owners sell a business without the help of ads? Couldn't they just be as successful? Word of mouth can be just as powerful.
The knuckle. Yeah. There you go. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze her cheeks. Flip her over. 1, 2, 4, 5. Palm her head. Flip her over. 1. Can you feel the crunch? Yeah. Yeah, that's the rib. So just don't mind that. It happens.
My name is Jay Dones. I've been a paramedic for about 18 years. Over the course of the time, I've responded to a lot of different calls. Primarily, a lot of the calls where people maybe were certified and had no idea of actually how to do CPR. So as I got a little bit tenured in my career, or went a little bit further, I decided to kind of branch off and to basically teach all the skills that I had learned as a medic. So therefore, a lay member would be prepared just as much as a doctor or a nurse or anyone else. And so about 5 years ago, I started Be Ready 365 right before the pandemic. It kind of took off pretty well because of my time as a medic. I've worked with many hospitals. I've been the director of operations, so I've worked in that aspect. I didn't spend a ton of time doing marketing to start off because basically I worked within my network. And so I had already built up a network of doctors, nurses, and things of that nature who had already had trained them in some capacity. So when I started Be Ready, it was kind of like an easy scenario. They just basically kind of gravitated because they enjoyed the training. I'm word of mouth. And I think that when you put forth a good product, you don't really got to sell it. You know, the product sells itself. And so I really put a lot of time and effort into learning the student, learn what works for certain learning styles, engaging with the student to make sure that they kind of comprehend, to whether it's a doctor or somebody who works at AutoZone. And so that's my biggest thing. And once you do that, make the class relatable, because people like to learn. You just have to figure out what learning style kind of benefits from. And so once you kind of find that learning style, the light comes on, and so they generally enjoy the process. And so word of mouth is the biggest thing. So when they go back to their nursing home, their doctor's office, their hospital, their school, their nursing program, they tell everybody the experience that they had. And so I didn't have to really spend a ton of marketing dollars just because I spent most of the residual income in just building a quality brand. Now I'm starting to get more into marketing because I've kind of ranged out a little bit with several instructors, but initially that's how I started off. So my foundation was just basically building a solid product. I have several schools in Chicago. I have several companies as far as Indiana, Ohio. I do a couple of government contracts in Cleveland. a ton of different nursing homes and things of that nature in the Toledo area. I have about 10 instructors that kind of cover the mid-Michigan area. And so in that process, I've just gained a ton of relationships with schools. Like I said, I have a couple of schools in Chicago, a couple of places in Fort Wayne. And so, yeah, I pretty much just networked because the class itself is a necessity. Again, you just have to add the value to it. For me, since I am a little bit older, I had to really get acclimated with social media marketing because, again, I'm more word of mouth, picking up the phone and calling, stopping by certain businesses, meeting the owners and things of that nature. And that's what worked for me. But now, because we're in an age to where people more gravitate towards social media, now I actually tried it. It didn't work because I tried it for myself, having an older type mentality. So what I end up having to do now is kind of invest in newer, younger eyes and younger marketing ideas because they know the social media platforms. So initially, like I said, I had failed just because I went at it from a very archaic idea of, okay, this is what worked, this is what should work, and because there's such a generational gap, I had to, like I said, I had to kind of invest in other people and make sure that because they are on social media a ton more than I am, so they understand the media schemes, they understand views and things of that nature. So just invested in them. I kind of rectified it, but initially, no, I didn't. I went at it and everything was kind of, I was trying to figure it out. For any person that's starting a business, you have to develop a brand. You have to develop a statement as far as what your company and what your brand is and what it does. So I think speaking for itself is building that brand. But as far as marketing, you always have to market, but you always have to look at marketing yourself first and then marketing your business, because most companies are going to look at you first, and their perception of you is going to dictate whether they're going to do business with you or not. So you have to be well versed. But as far as marketing is concerned, just getting your foot through the door, like I said, I think with social media marketing, it's a huge thing now. But I think also it's just as important as going in a company or in a facility or in a school and meeting with those people. And so I think, like I said, as far as advertising, like I said, I'm a little bit old school. I prefer to sit in front of the person, talk to the person, but I do see the advantage in social media marketing because it does give you a brighter scope. But, I think sitting in front of a person, showing the value that you have, presenting a good product, and like I said, word of mouth. I think that's the biggest underrated situation that people can have with marketing. They don't really think about that one person, because as you can see, I'll teach one or two people or I'll teach 25, because I don't know that one person can have a wider reach than the 25 I taught yesterday. But I'm gonna show the same value to that one person as I would that 25. So both of them walk away with an experience of saying now, again, that they have a better either understanding or I added some aspect to what they already knew. And so I think to me, that's the biggest marketing, is just giving a solid product. So whether you're in front of a person or social media, I think that's the biggest thing. Branding is a huge thing. And so, and actually it's funny because my degree is in advertising and marketing. So color schemes, and you can get really deep into it, colors and things of that nature. But the biggest thing is just building a solid brand. Everything else kind of falls into play as long as you got a solid brand.
Whether through ads,
promotions,
or the timeless art of word of mouth,
the goal remains the same: to spark possibilities
and create meaningful experiences,
not just a product or service.